The soldier suddenly realized what was flying toward him wasn't a missile. With a flash of bright light, the man found himself in a strange sealed room. The walls around him were airtight. He looked around in disbelief, not knowing what had just happened. He was just on the battlefield. How could he suddenly be here? But the sharp pain from his wound told him this wasn't a dream. He instinctively pulled out his gun, but the only response was the rising heat and the sound of his sweat evaporating off the floor. It was clear the room had become an oven, trying to roast him alive. In his rage, the man pulled out his gun, trying to shoot a hole for some air, but to his surprise the wall was harder than steel. The bullets only left minor scratches. In the end, amidst his painful screams, the man slowly passed out. When he woke up again, the temperature had returned to normal, but after the burning just now, his body was nearly dehydrated. Just as he tried to rehydrate, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Clearly this wasn't an enemy prison camp. After calming down, he quickly picked up the radio to call HQ, but all he got was static noise. The man was about to go insane, but then he had an idea. Maybe the walls were blocking the signal. That's why he couldn't reach HQ. Now he had to rely on the radio, but the radio was stuck on the ceiling. He decided to leave a voice message and say his phone number. Frost started to spread across the walls. The temperature dropped instantly. He ran to put his clothes back on, but it didn't help at all. Then he wrapped himself in anything he could find, but still felt the bone-chilling cold. Soon he couldn't take it and collapsed. His face was covered in thick frost. No one knew how much time had passed before the freezing began to fade. Luckily he wasn't fatally injured. But right then, the radio rang again. Just as he was about to get up, the room started making noises, and the walls began to rotate again. But the room was lit like daytime. The lights felt alive and adjusted automatically. Then the man suddenly realized, how did she know his number? She said it was written on her ceiling. That shocked him. How could the number he wrote on the floor appear in her room? Then he asked if she could see any writing on her walls.
Yeah, God, I see Chinese and religion.
Victimano 1218.
That line made him laugh. 1218 was hundreds of years ago. Right after that, the walls started shaking violently, but this time they didn't spin. The whole room began to shrink. The man braced against the wall trying to stop it, but it was useless. He was about to be crushed. Then the walls suddenly stopped. He narrowly escaped death, but was clearly terrified.
Stop! Stop it! Stop! Stop it! No!
He sat in the corner gasping for air. It seemed like some kind of ultrasonic attack. The loud piercing noise made him black out again. When he woke up, the room had shrunk again. Now he had less than 5 square meters of space. He felt dizzy and couldn't breathe. The woman calmed him down again. They were both in the same situation. She said they were likely in the same space, but different points in time. To test this, he asked her to draw something on the wall. Then the phone rang. He thought it was HQ, told the woman and picked it up. But it wasn't HQ. It was a man named Roger. He was also trapped. Roger told him, if you want to survive, you have to solve the equation. The man was confused. What equation? But before he could ask, Roger hung up. Then the woman called again. The man was still in shock, so he responded half-heartedly. But before they could solve it, the room made strange noises again. This time it came 30 minutes earlier. The man realized time wasn't just passing, it was accelerating. Then the ground started shaking violently, and gravity crushed him down. He tried to fight it, but couldn't. The pressure got stronger and stronger. His clothes tore open. His helmet caved in, even the bullet in his body. But then, when he talked to the woman, she started talking like Roger too, all paranoid and cryptic. She said they had to act non-threatening, so they would be at ease. They were testing their minds and abilities, gathering people from different times and places, and letting them communicate through writing, to study them. Apparently Roger had convinced her. The man disagreed. Humans should fight back, solve the equation and escape, prove their strength. His words inspired her again. She seemed more unstable. Then Roger called again.
To try to solve it. It's not succeed, okay?
Okay.
Not sure we are threatened. Has to fail.
He said only by failing could humanity survive. If apes learned to use weapons, or robots rebelled. In a flash of white light, the man returned to the rock he started on.
I did it, Dave.
But the war hadn't ended. Strangely, everyone was staring off into the distance. He looked that way too, and the movie ended there.